All my dear students of class 8, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I once again welcome you back to your biology online class. I am starting with unit test 2 course today. I hope you have completed all your written work based on unit test 1. I received only 6 to 7 copies. It's a request on the behalf of all the teachers class 8, please complete your written work side by side along with the learning work and submit your copies timely. So next time when I hope you have been given the submission dates. Please, the students who have not submitted the copies as yet, please complete your work in all the subjects and submit your copies. I'm starting with unit test 2 course today, that is lesson number 2, reproduction in plants. I hope you all have come across this term several times. Reproduction. What does this word mean? In any word or any term where you have regeneration, reproduction, regain, that means you are having it again. Similarly, reproduction means producing again. So we all know all the living organisms, whether be it human being, whether be it animals or plants, have a particular lifespan. They live for a certain period of time and after that they die. And this automatically, if there is no reproduction, that particular species will come to an end, as many of the species have already disappeared from the earth because of many environmental factors or other factors. So if we have to maintain a particular amount of a particular living organism on earth, then that particular species, whether be it plant, human beings or animal, they have to reproduce, they have to be produced again. Is that clear? So you can see the example of humans, animals and plants, that they all reproduce and a particular number of of a particular species is maintained on earth, and that species will not come to an end unless and until this reproduction comes to an end. So for the survival of the species, the process of reproduction is essential. Without it, the survival of a species is impossible. So what is reproduction? It is the ability of living organisms to produce young ones of their own kind. Is that clear? And you have seen your younger brothers and sisters and your cousins and people around you, small kids, and they are growing and becoming big individual adults. You must have seen yourself also, your brothers and sisters also. So definition of reproduction means producing new organism, new individual of its own kind. If it's a cat, it is going to produce cats, that is kittens, and then they grow into adult cats. Similarly with plants, similarly with human beings. So producing new individuals of their own kinds. Own kind, is it clear? So reproduction is the ability of living organisms to produce young ones of their own kind. Is it clear? This reproduction can take place by two modes, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Is that clear? Now you can see this asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Now sexual reproduction, we will study in detail about both the types of reproduction, but in very short, sexual reproduction involves the production of special sex cells called gametes. Is that clear? While asexual reproduction does not involve any sex cells, no fertilization takes place. We will study in detail about them. Let's proceed on with the asexual reproduction first. So what is asexual reproduction? When the production of a plant takes place from a single parent, just because no sex cells are involved, no gametes are involved. So only single parent is involved in asexual reproduction. There is no involvement of the reproductive cells. So asexual reproduction in plant can take place by two methods which we will discuss, that is fragmentation and spore formation. And some parts of the plant like roots, stems and leaves also help in producing new plants. It is known as vegetative propagation. That is, suppose you take a potato and sow it under the soil, you will see new potato tubers developing from them, growing from them. Similarly with onions also, new onions can be grown by this method. So producing new plants from existing vegetative structure, we are not using the seeds of potato, or we are not using the seeds of onion, but when you sow them, these vegetative parts develop or they reproduce to produce new potatoes or new onions. So this is known as vegetative propagation. Is it clear? Then what is sexual reproduction? What is sexual reproduction? It is the production of new plants that involve fusion of reproductive cells. That is, the fusion of reproductive cells takes place. That is, male and female plant are there, or the same plant may be having the male part also and female part also. Is that clear? So the male part produces the male reproductive cell and the female part produces the female reproductive cell. You can see this. This is the when we will study in detail how the male and female part, the female part is shown over here. That is the gynoecium. This is the gynoecium, and similarly we have the male part having the this kind, that is the anther, and we have the filament and anther. Now this anther produces the male sex cells, that is the pollen grains. Now we will study in detail about this later in this chapter, but you should understand by now that is what is asexual reproduction. It is the production of new plants from a single parent without the involvement of any reproductive cell. That is, only a single parent is involved and there is no involvement of any reproductive cells. With the sexual reproduction, both the parents are involved and there is fusion of reproductive cells. Fusion means they fuse together. Is that clear? They fuse together to form a single cell. Fuse together to form a single cell, which is called as zygote. Is that clear? So reproductive cells, I just told you, are produced in the female and male reproductive parts of plants. They fuse to produce seeds, and seeds germinate to produce new plants. Example of such the plant showing such kind of reproduction are wheat, rice, mustard, sunflower. Is that clear? All these are produced from the seeds. So which kind of reproduction is involved? Sexual reproduction. Then the example of asexual reproduction are fragmentation and spore formation. So what is fragmentation? Now when an organism breaks, you can see this is a single organism. This is Spirogyra. It is a green alga. Is that clear? Now the what is the plural of algae? It is algae and alga. Singular and plural of alga. Kai. We call it kai in Hindi. That is the algae. It's a green plant. So what happened? This is an example of a green alga. It can be green or non-green, but I'm talking about Spirogyra. It is a green alga, and you can see that it has a long ribbon-like ribbon. It is in the form of a ribbon-like structure, and it breaks into two. When it has to reproduce, it breaks into fragments. It can be two or it can be more than that. and each fragment grows to form a new individual. That is, a new Spirogyra will grow from each fragment. So we can say, when an organism breaks into two or more fragments, fragments means pieces, parts, is that clear? And each fragment develops into a new individual organism, it is called as fragmentation. Is it clear? So when an organism breaks into two or more parts or two or more fragments, and each fragment grows into a or develops into a new individual organism of the same kind, it is called as fragmentation. We have certain plants, non-flowering plants, which are not produced from seeds, but they develop from certain they are developed from, or they reproduce by producing spores. Is that clear? So this is known as the spore formation. So the example of such kind of plants are mosses and ferns. They are non-flowering plants. They don't produce flowers, hence they are seedless. They don't produce any seeds. So seeds are not the means of reproduction in them. So spore formation is the second mode of asexual reproduction in plants, and it takes place in mosses and ferns. Is that clear? These are some of the examples. You can see the plants. They are also known as bryophytes or non-vascular plants, or even pteridophytes, which you will study in detail in higher classes. Now those students who have gardens at home or have plants, are fond of plants, you can see that you must be having ferns at home also. You try to observe now. If you have not, then ask the person who is planting them and ask which plants are what. So in ferns you have such kind of leaf, you can see such kind of structures. You get brown structures that you can see, yes, brown rounded structures. Now these are known as sori, SORI, sori. Is that clear? Now if you observe these sori under the microscope, what will you see? You will see sporangium in them, certain sac like structures, bag like structures, and these bag like structures, they burst open. Is that clear? When they burst open, what comes out are rounded structures which are known as spores, and wherever these spores fall and they get favorable condition, they get moisture and they get proper amount of air and sunlight, they grow into new plants, that is new ferns and mosses. Is that clear? Here we are talking about sori. So this is the a leaf showing the sori. Now I have just told you that mosses and ferns, they reproduce by forming spores. Now how are these spores formed? They are produced in round structures which are known as sporangium. You can see this. Now if you observe these sori under the microscope, a part of it, you will see that they have these round structures, round globular knob like structures, which are known as sporangium. And when the sporangium bursts, what comes out? These burst, you can see this burst, it rupture, it breaks, the spores disperse in air, they scatter in air. Is that clear? They scatter in air, they spread everywhere in the air. So spores are lightweight, they don't have much weight, so they can easily be carried by the wind and to distant places. It is not essential that they fall wherever they burst. Just because they are lightweight, they can be carried to long distances by wind, or even when they fall in water, they can be easily carried by water also. So what are the favorable conditions for growth of a plant, for the development of a plant or the germination of a plant? Yes, proper amount of moisture, sunlight and air. Is that clear? So when those favorable conditions are there, these spores germinate. What do you mean by the term germination? Germination means the development of a seedling from a seed. Here, development of a plant from a spore. Is that clear? Wherever it will fall, it gets proper amount of moisture, whether it is growing on the surface of a bread, especially during the rainy season. What is that? The fungus that grows, that is there. Is that clear? So if you that is also an example of plant only. Or if these spores, rounded structures that are there, they fall anywhere and they get covered by soil, they grow into new plants. Is that clear? So in fern, these spores are found where? They are found in clusters of sporangia, which are called as sori. So these sori that you can see on the surface of the leaf, they are clusters of sporangia. Clusters means many of them present together. Is that clear? So, and sori are present where? They are not present on the upper surface of the leaf, but they are present on the lower surface of the leaves. Is that clear? So I am just revising it once again. That is which type of plants? Non-flowering plants like mosses and ferns. They reproduce how? By producing spores. And where are these spores present? In sac-like structures or round structures, which are known as sporangium. And when these sporangium burst, what comes out of them? Yes, spores. And these spores are lightweight, they don't have much weight, they can be easily carried by wind, and also they can easily be carried by water. And when these spores get favorable conditions, they germinate to produce new individuals. Is it clear? So this is spore formation. Then what is budding? It is another means of asexual reproduction in plants. I just told you that there are fungus is what? Fungus is singular and fungi are plural. Now what is it? They are also plants, non-green plants. So now we included these fungi earlier as plant, but according to the 5 kingdom classification, these fungi form a separate kingdom. But here we are discussing because they also reproduce through asexually through a process which is known as budding. Budding. So what happens in them? Now this is the budding in animals. Now this is the example of budding that is seen in the case of plants. So but what strikes you? That's a small projection coming out from the stem of the plants. That is a bud. So similarly, what? A small outgrowth. Outgrowth means a growth other than the normal stem, leaves and everything. But here we don't have such kind of plant, but I am just telling you about the bud. Yeast is a fungi, and its body is not differentiated into stem, roots and everything, but it is I'll just show you the structure. It is unicellular, made up of a single cell. Is that clear? Now this is the yeast cell. You can see this yeast cell. Then what happens when it reproduces asexually? A bud. You can see this outgrowth which is coming out from here. It grows on the side of the yeast cell. That is, this is called as the parent cell, and this is the bud. Now this bud gradually means slowly, it grows to form a new yeast cell. You can see this, there can be a single yeast cell, and at times this bud can again produce another bud, and then in turn this will produce another bud. Now this process is so quick sometimes that a chain of buds form at the same time, and each and every cell leads its own independent life. Is that clear? Now sometimes the budding is so fast that the first bud starts forming its own bud while attached to the parent body. So this forms a chain of buds. Is that clear? So this is the process, that is a single outgrowth comes out which grows and develops from the parent body, and it detaches itself. Detaches means separates from the parent and grows into a new individual. Is it clear? Now let's move on to the exercise on the same page. So the ability of living organism to produce young one of their own kind is called as reproduction. Is that clear? Then the production of new plants from a single parent without the involvement of reproductive cell is called as asexual reproduction. Is that clear? Then the production of new plants that involve fusion of reproductive cell is called as sexual reproduction. It is not visible very clearly over here. Please you mark it in your books. When an organism breaks into two or more fragments and each fragment develops into a new individual organism, it is called as fragmentation. Then circle the odd one and name the category to which the other three belong. Yes, Spirogyra, potato, ginger and wheat. Yes, it is Spirogyra because it reproduces asexually while the other three reproduce sexually. Then mustard, rice, bryophyllum and sunflower. Yes, yes, any one of you? This is, we will discuss this later on, that is, it is whether it is mustard, rice, bryophyllum and sunflower. Mustard, rice, sunflower, they all reproduce sexually, and this bryophyllum reproduces through asexual, asexual means that is through vegetative propagation. Is it clear? Then move on to the next page. Take the correct option. Seeds are formed during what reproduction? Seeds are formed, it is sexual reproduction. Is it clear? Then which of the following reproduce by fragmentation? It is moss, fern, Spirogyra or wheat. It is Spirogyra. Which of the following reproduce by forming spores? Yes, it is mosses, ferns, or both of these or none of these. It is both mosses and ferns. So this is all for today. Please revise whatever part I have covered today. Allah Hafiz.